All right, guys, let's connect today, July 23rd, 2023. So 7/23/23. And I started a minute early because I want to give a shout out to my cat, my fur baby, my son, Milo. I know you don't really like it, but it's all right. Today's his birthday, so I wanted to give a shout out to him. And he's 16 years old today, and I just wanted to put him on my YouTube live stream because today's his actual birthday, and he's one of the oldest, besides my parents and a couple friends. I've known him before I met my wife, so he's definitely I know you're not really liking it right now, but I just want to give a shout out to him. I know I'll put you down right now, but today he's 16 years old. So, all right, I'll put you down. I'm sorry. So sorry. I just wanted to put that on there. He doesn't like to be held like that for too long. But, yep, so he's 16, and I thought today was a good day to talk about it a little bit. So thank you guys for bearing with me for a couple minutes. That's why I started about a minute early to do that. So, all right, guys, so I'm One Eye Bry, also known as PT. Don't know if I'm winking or blinking, but I'm definitely thinking about the Walking Dead universe. So we had some pretty big news on Friday. Like, it was Comic-Con. No actors were there, I don't believe. Chris Hardwick wasn't the moderator for the panel. It was a watch party is what I'm hearing. We had a teaser trailer for Rick and Michonne show that has a new title, Dead City. If you got to watch it early on Thursday or Friday, some of it had a kind of a problem with uploading it on the AMC Plus on Amazon Prime. But I watched it twice now, and I thought it was a good ending for this first 6 episodes of the first season. And I enjoyed Dead City. I think it was the best spinoff so far, better than Fear the Walking Dead and World Beyond and Tales. So we'll have to see, when we're getting season 2, because that was greenlit, that we kind of knew. They confirmed a lot of information that we knew about. So we knew a lot of stuff, or potentially knew a lot of stuff that was confirmed. That being Fear the Walking Dead stuff. So we got the dates for Fear the Walking Dead is October 22nd for that final 6 episodes of the series. And then the first season of the Daryl Dixon show of the first 6 episodes, season 1, and then that was greenlit for season 2. So a lot of good stuff going around, and of course the Rick and Michonne show is now called The Ones Who Live. So a better title than Rick and Michonne connects with the season 11 ending, with seeing them, and there's a lot of stuff going around with Daryl. I saw, a good chunk of the first 10 minutes, and I'm going to talk about a walker basically has like acid blood or something, it's just weird. So we'll have to talk about that, what that means, the variants, probably what it means. And the Daryl show, a lot of people aren't really excited about the trailer, but all I can say is sometimes shows have a great trailer and they suck. Movies have a great trailer and they suck, and vice versa. The trailer's not so good and the movie's good, or the show's good. A lot of times the Walking Dead universe has seasons of The Walking Dead that the trailer was misleading, or the trailer was great only for it to suck. Season 7 and Season 8 trailers were good, and they weren't very good in my opinion. But only time will tell. I'm going to check it out. I'm excited to see how it goes down. What a name. Hunt 42. I thought the first 10 minutes of Daryl was awesome. Yeah, I thought it was good. I thought it was a good start. And some people didn't like the trailer because of what they're trying to do with it on there too. So I don't want to give away too much information. But so I'm going to give out the general spoiler warning now, because we're going to talk about a bunch of stuff. And I don't know, what you don't want to know, I don't know, because there's a lot of stuff going around from Friday, from Comic-Con, Dead City. We're going to talk about the season and the season finale, and what they're setting up for probably season 2, and a bunch of different topics. So again, a spoiler warning if you're watching it now on the replay, all that good stuff. Also, what did we watch? So Mayans MC was done. I made a video. I didn't post it yet, but I'm going to post a video probably today or tomorrow about the final episode of Mayans. So if you haven't seen the series, don't check it out, or maybe check it out if you're not going to watch it. But I think it was confirming, much so I've ever seen in my life, of the Red Theory connecting in a show outside of the Walking Dead universe. So I got a whole video talking about that and major stuff that happened in the final episode of Mayans. So stay on the look for that. If you want to check that out, that would be appreciated. Thank you guys for taking the time to be here. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Super chats are always welcome. Top chats are always welcome. Let me know. Like Nick says, Q&A. Since Troy is alive, do you think Daniel will find out the truth about how his actions caused his daughter to die? Like, do you think he will be curious why Madison killed him? I don't know. I mean, so there's been a lot of talk about Troy. And we've known for months now that Daniel Sherman, or whatever his name is, Sherman, whatever, he was coming back as Troy. And a lot of people are like, how could he come back? He's dead. He got hit with a hammer. It was confirmed. We saw him. How did he die? How did he do this? The damn explosion. How did this? How? It's Fear the Walking Dead we're talking about, people. Fear the Walking Dead is terrible. Fear the Walking Dead writings all over the place. They brought back Madison for, anything. Then they bring back Troy for the final villain aspect of that. So there's been a bunch of confirmations going around on social media talking about how he's coming back. He's going to be blind in one eye from the hammer hit from Madison. Is it going to make sense? Probably not. Is it going to matter? Probably not. I don't really care. It's just Troy coming back. Wrap it up. Bring back Morales. Bring back all the characters need to be and wrap it up in 6 episodes. I don't care about Daniel and Troy and this and that and that. Just wrap it up. Have Troy be the final villain. I hope Alicia comes around. I'm not holding out big expectations, especially if Morgan is done with the show. Morgan was the most captivating thing in the first 6 episodes of season 8. Going back to King County, connecting the dots with Dwayne, doing all the major stuff like that. It was great because of Morgan. That being said, it was also terrible because of Morgan in season 8, episode 6, because of the jumping around. He can't understand what's going on. How did I get here? His amnesia, his blacking out, his this, whatever it was. It was all over the place. Now that Morgan is potentially gone, it's going to be connecting the dots with Strand, Luciana, Daniel, Troy, the OGs of Fear the Walking Dead. Is it going to be good? I don't know. Is it going to be crappy? I don't know. It's going to be interesting to watch. Hope so. I'm going to watch it for sure. So, I mean, if I was Troy and I was still alive somehow all these years, I guess going after revenge for Madison would make sense because he had a couple screws loose anyway before this happened with this. So I think that it's interesting as well. So I don't know. Lindsay says, so there was a podcast yesterday and they mentioned there is a YouTuber who proposed the Red Theory and they didn't mention the PT channel. But I was like, I know who they talking about. So that's messed up if you're going to propose a Red Theory or talk about a Red Theory and talk about all this stuff and not give props if you got it from me, if you got it from us, if you got it from the channel. If you didn't, then I don't know. But ultimately, I just know we post it time and time again all over YouTube. And if this person says, there is a YouTuber who proposed the Red Theory, and they didn't mention us, that's kind of messed up. Like, I guess you could just talk about it on your podcast. I don't know if it's I don't really listen to podcasts, but if it's something that is notable, if people listen to it on that stuff, maybe you watch it. If they have a spot for comments, give a shout out to it or not. Maybe ask them who the YouTuber was and to see how it is. I don't know. All I know is that my whole life I've been kind of like the underdog, underestimated with sports, with life, with career, with education, with everything there too. And this ain't no different. So it is what it is. It's all right. I'm going to keep grinding, keep working, and never give up on your goals, your dreams, your aspirations. You're going to have roadblocks. You're going to have problems. You're going to have stuff that get in your way and slow you down and take a detour. But get back on track. Get back on that highway. Go around on it and keep going. Keep grinding. And that's all I can say about that. So, Fear the Walking Dead, October 22nd. Set your DVRs. No, that's October 22nd. So today's the 23rd. So that's 3 months away from the start of Fear the Walking Dead final 6 episode too. So it's interesting to see what it is, where it's going. for the final 6 episodes, wrap it up, move along with it. Now we have confirmation about Daryl Dixon's show getting a second season, which we kind of knew was happening, and Dead City getting a second season, which we kind of knew was happening, and Rick and Michonne. It's just easier to say Rick and Michonne instead of the ones who live, but that is a show that I want the second season of. Like Dead City, I want a second season of. Daryl Dixon, sure, I'll take it. More Daryl, it's good. But ultimately, Dead City and Daryl Dixon, to me, are interesting, but not enough as Rick and Michonne are, because there's been so much there left on the table, and I think they could expand upon that tenfold too. So, Constipated in Sin City, hey PT, Q&A. I heard that Fear the Walking Dead, they were going to bring back the Fonz. Do you think that would be help Fear? A little Henry Winkler, make things go right. I mean, I don't think they're going to bring. I don't know if they could afford Henry Winkler. I don't know. I guess the budget can be spread around to all the people, and I guess Madison is probably going to be the highest person there too. So I don't think the Fonz will be showing up too. So Carol says JDM killing it on Dead City, could easily fade Maggie out of Dead City, and not sure if she'll be missed much. Hella annoying. Maybe after the strike, the writing for her will get better. Well, Maggie, Lauren Cohan, is an executive producer, just like Jeffrey Dean Morgan. So Lauren and Jeffrey are executive producers. They're involved with it. They're producers, not writers. There's a difference. But I'm excited to see what happens with that. And you're right. Like Maggie was involved with it because she had to be the role of getting Herschel there. Herschel, Croat, Dama, Negan, Maggie, stuff came true with the grain theory. Stuff came true with Maggie lying. So where does it go from here? Now that, Herschel is safe, what's Maggie going to do? She going to help Negan? Is anybody else going to show up? Because you know what you do? You make that phone call, Maggie, you send that carrier pigeon, you get stuff going, and you contact the Commonwealth and you help Negan out. How about that? How about season 2? You get some other people there. That would be amazing. If you brought, already, Dead City was already the best show on AMC Plus, they said, I think. It was the highest viewed show is what they said, and I saw it somewhere. I don't know if that's true or whatever it is, but so if Dead City already was popular, if a lot of people watched it, a lot of people came back to it in the Walking Dead universe because of Negan, because of the story, even Maggie, whatever it is, imagine if you brought back people from The Walking Dead. Even if it's 2 people. Even if it's Aaron and Mercer and some Commonwealth soldiers. And then you open it up with New Babylon and Armstrong and those people and the city and there. And you bring people there. Like Rob K says, get Mercer on one of these shows. Please bring Mercer back. I would love it. Mercer's awesome. Does anybody not like Mercer? Please let me know in the comments, because I love Mercer, and I would love to see him back on that show. And how awesome would that be if Mercer and the Commonwealth troopers that know what they're doing now, not terrible stormtroopers, know how to go into the city and kick butt. Take on the Barazzi. Take on all the stuff there. Take on CRM. Connect with CRM somehow, some way. Don't just make it a way that CRM makes no sense. Sprinkle it in there a little bit. No, make it useful. Make it mean something. Negan one asks Q&A, what did you think season 1 of Fear? Just rewatched it and it was really good writing. I haven't watched it in a while. Maybe, I don't know. I would have to go back and rewatch Fear the Walking Dead, and I don't know if I want to, because I don't really care. I got other stuff going on. But I was excited about Fear the Walking Dead, and the only thing I could think of is that it was the early on stuff in the neighborhood with Travis and Madison, and, this. You see the start of it, and then you see the military, and you see this. So it was pretty decent, if I recall, but I haven't watched it in a long time too. But I just don't remember. And then it just goes off this tangent and here and there, and then, with Nick being the drug addict and Alicia being this and that, and it was kind of interesting, but I don't know. It just kind of started to fall apart too. I mean, I know there's some people, I don't get it personally, but I know there's some people that enjoy Fear the Walking Dead. They say it's better than, they say that it was better than The Walking Dead, which I disagree, but I wasn't sure if they couldn't call your name, but I'm trying to find. Yeah, it's all right, Lindsay. Don't kill yourself on the podcast stuff about there. But if they talk about it again, who knows? Who knows? About the podcast and the Red Theory too. Nick Staltaro, Q&A. Where are all the variant walkers in DC and Fear? None in War Beyond. Just find it very weird after all this time. We see them only in season 11 of The Walking Dead. Do you think something happened in Philadelphia? Good question. So my take on the variants is so the variants are going to be on Daryl's show. Like, I think we already saw them. So if you saw the first 10 minutes of the Daryl show, basically it's the trailer, and then he gets to the inside the, I don't know if it's a marina thing or a shop or a place, whatever it is, but he goes inside and that's where the trailer ends, or the sneak peek ended. This time he goes in there and he has his harpoon and he's looking around and he's looking at stuff and he's smelling stuff. And then the walkers all wake up all of a sudden. The lurkers, they wake up, which is kind of funny that the walkers just wake up all of a sudden because they're hibernating. But one gets there, does this, and then Daryl kills it with a harpoon and then kills another one and this one and that one. And then one grabs his forearm. He's like, ugh, and it grabs it like this way, but he grabs it and it starts to burn Daryl's forearm. And he's got this weird, like, veiny, just gross stuff on him. Like, it's just kind of crazy. And then you see on Daryl's arm is got a decent sized burn. And so I don't know what that means. To me, that's got to be a variant, right? I mean, come on. We know that the variants were in France. We know that the variants were in the world beyond. We do know that the variants were definitely brought in The Walking Dead final season, but also in the first season to connect with the last season. It's just like all over the place, right? But we never saw them anywhere else. Dead City didn't need the variants. The Daryl show is just Daryl. It starts with Daryl. And then he's got to go on his own. He made bad decisions, and he was going here, and then he got a boat, and then he went ashore, and he got it this, and then he goes this. And so it's just Daryl walking around, being Daryl, right? And Daryl's cool, but I don't know if it could just be Daryl without a story. Like, you could have the acting and the actors be great, but if there's no story, like, what am I just watching Daryl walk around for 6 episodes? Like, what is that, right? So we need to have a story. So then they decide that Daryl, from my take of the trailer and the information going around, that Daryl is going to get injured and wounded. He clearly got wounded with the burn on his arm, whether it's a variant, something in the blood, something on the walker, something there, something coated with it. I don't know if somebody's weaponizing the walkers or whatever it is. But the variants could be explored more because that would help Daryl's story. But from what I'm understanding is that Daryl goes to this church, the Covenant, and meets these nuns that take care of him, patch him up, bathe him for once, take care of him, heal him up. He gets healed up. And now he knows how to defend himself, and he knows how to take care of himself, and he's, a badass person in the zombie apocalypse. So these nuns or the people at the Covenant have this child there, or this teenager, or whatever, this kid named Laurent. And Laurent is evidently immune to the virus, or they think so, because they played this card before. Fear the Walking Dead, the guy got bit, said he was immune. Turns out he wasn't. Turns out they had a cure on Fear the Walking Dead again, didn't have it. Didn't really see it on The Walking Dead or World Beyond. I didn't see stuff there, but it was mainly Fear the Walking Dead. They covered that angle. Lesser writing threw that in there to spice it up a little bit, right? Daryl, Laurent, they have to go somewhere. Where are they going? We don't know, but they have to. Daryl has to escort Laurent from point A to point B, or point A to point B to point C to point D, wherever they have to go along their route. Maybe they have to go to the CDC. Now, that would be cool if they have to take Daryl and Laurent have to go from rural France to wherever to go to the CDC, which I'm guessing would be in the city, maybe Paris or whatever. I don't know where it would be, the French CDC. And they go there, and it's shut down. It fell apart. The walker lady that was killed is still in there. The writing's on there. It just looks exactly the same how it was done. But now, what can they do with that? I don't know. Do they have to bring Laurent back to the United States? I don't know. And it's just like, so Daryl has to escort this immune kid. Is this The Last of Us? If you've ever played The Last of Us video game, you know The Last of Us story. You watched the first season. It sounds a little bit like that, or a lot like that. Ellie is immune. Laurent is supposedly immune. They have to take Laurent somewhere to be operated on, or the revival of humanity, or whatever they're calling this kid, right? They're calling him like the savior, basically. Okay, cool. But that's kind of like, I've always said this before, in the zombie apocalypse story, there's only so many different ways it can go. Everybody lives, everybody dies, some people live, some people die, the military shows up, there's a cure. Like, look at the story, right? They get to an island, that's the end of the story. There's 3 survivors, it starts with 20, there's 3 people, they make it to an island, now what? Story over, doesn't matter. They fight against the virus, they know how to combat it, story over. Everybody dies, story over. Military shows up, story over. That's kind of what the endings are in this. Like, what is there? All hope is lost, humanity is lost? I don't know. I mean, there's just no way. Yeah, Tobias can come back. That's what it was. Was that what it was? I think I said Morales in there. Tobias would be the one to bring back on Fear the Walking Dead. I apologize if I said Morales, because he came back, and you know how that went, right? So, yeah, Lindsay says, you all know Daryl is going to get kidnapped and held hostage at some point. You know, when in doubt, give it to Daryl, and when in doubt, capture Daryl. That's kind of what The Walking Dead loves to do. Daryl is going to be the focal point. He's going to be captured. And we already saw the new guy. So Daryl's on the radio, and he's like, I came from a place in the Commonwealth. I'm from America. And then they do another cut to these people listening in on the radio. It's a man and a woman. And the woman sends out the guy to go track down the American, which is Daryl. So it's going to be people coming after Daryl. So I think there's going to be a lot of action. There's going to be a lot of good stuff in it. I'm just keeping my expectations low. I kept my expectations low with the Dead City show, and I enjoyed it. I liked the Daryl. I liked Dead City. I thought Negan carried the show. I think Lauren Cohan was okay. The Herschel thing, like, Herschel is an annoying brat. PETA, if you know what that means, at the end of the Walking Dead comic. And that's what they're showing here. He's a brat, an ungrateful punk who causes trouble and problems because Maggie is running things, and doing things. And, he basically turns into a Sebastian type of person. And that's kind of what he is on the show, too. He's like, when we see Maggie saves Herschel, he's like with these weird facial things, and he's not even happy. Like, oh, mom, runs to your mom and, hey, thanks for saving me. It's like, what? Yeah, you said constipated since he says even the French walkers are too good to even wash their hands. Yeah, I mean, like, it's interesting that Daryl goes to France of all places. We'll have to see if it makes sense, but I don't know. Yeah, Carol said, wonder why he didn't tell Maggie about his toe. So at the end, the Negan meets the Dama, and the Dama puts a small little box in front of Negan, and Negan asks, what's in the box? What's in the box? No, he gets a key from the Dama. He opens it up, and the Dama has like a flair for the dramatic. She's a show person. She's a theater person. She's a drama person. She's like, what do you think of that? She's just very, open the box. I want to see your response to the box. Like, you can just see how she's like. So, and Negan's like, what the heck's this? And it's a toe. And it's Herschel's baby toe. So, his wound looks pretty good and healed after, how long was he there? A week? But I don't think it would look that great. But either way, Herschel lost his baby toe, and the Dama has it. And so Negan has to work for the Dama because she wants Negan to take over the city and to run things in the city, because the marshals and whoever will come for the methane. They will come for this. They will come for what they want. Negan has to run things. And you thought the Croat was the person in charge, but he's not. It's the Dama. And I don't know how the Dama has the power, who she is, why don't people rise up against her. A lot of people are thinking, and kind of including myself, is that the Croat will rise up against the Dama and try to overthrow her and kill her in the second season or third season or whatever they decide to do with that, because she treats him like he's terrible. He's an idiot. Like, he's like, when the Croat takes Negan to meet the Dama, he's excited. He's like, it's like mom and dad. Yeah, we're going to be great. I love Negan. I love my Negan. Like, you can see he's like really happy to see Negan. And so it's kind of weird, but the Croat is going to talk to Dama, and Dama's like, okay, you can leave. And he's like, oh, well, let's get started. She's like, no, you can leave. Let us talk. Get out of here. You did your job for once. Get out of here. You know, like, she just thinks that he's an idiot. Like, she's the boss, and he's her lackey. And she has no, just, I don't know, he has no just balls around her either. You know, like, he's just kind of like, okay, so who is this woman, right? So if he stepped up to her and was like, no, I'm going to sit in. This is my guy. I know about him. You ain't going to run things like this. I got this done. I'm going to be a part of this. What would she do? Like, what is she going to do? Right? She going to attack him? Good. Then they fight. He kills her. They kill each other. Whatever. Move on. No. Right? So what it is, you know, and a lot of people are making the thing like, why is The Walking Dead having so many women in power? And it's a good question, because that's what they decide to go with, right? Like, so they have Pamela Milton. They had Deanna, Maggie. The Babylon Marshals is a woman, the head person there. The Dama, Alpha. Like, there's a lot of women running things, which is cool, and I'm fine with it. But it does make you wonder, like, how could so many women have so much power? Like, especially like the new Babylon people, right? So let's talk about that a little bit. And I'm by no means saying it's terrible writing and it makes no sense, blah, blah, blah. But I could see why people do that, because, you know, in politics or whatever, the military, police, whatever it is, like, people do weigh power with physical power. And I'm going to make a generalization here, but I would assume most men can overpower a woman physically, right? Like, not all the time, you know, like Ronda Rousey would probably beat up a lot of men, and, you know, Michelle Nunez would you know, beat up, or, you know, would meet up a lot of people, whatever too. You know, if you're trained, it's different. But the Dama is this skinny nothing lady who, she sits in a room all day. Like, she doesn't have people. Like, I don't know, right? So I don't know. And Negan just supposed to take it? What if Negan just killed the Dama right there? He's killed people before for less. Then Herschel's safe, everybody's safe. Done. She's gone. What would happen? Who is this woman? Why does she have power? Why can't Negan just take her out? Right? So the new Babylon Marshals, because Armstrong goes back home and tells everybody what happened, and he lies that he killed Negan when he didn't kill Negan, right? So that's fine. That's going to come back around when they see Negan. Negan very much alive in the city. They're going to know he lied. And the lady that's you know, the head marshal person, as I took it, because she was at the desk talking to Armstrong as the people were around, she was like threatening Armstrong about his kids and his family. It was like, don't worry, we took care of them. And obviously the people that were bad from New Babylon, or the people that Negan killed from New Babylon, one of them was Ginny's dad, by the way, which is kind of the big twist, or a big bomb too that's dropped. I guess not big, but a bomb that's dropped. He was a terrible guy. a magistrate was a terrible person. The people at New Babylon were terrible people. If they attacked Annie, beat Annie, did terrible things to Annie, right? So they're not good people because they're in power. And they're not in power because they're good people or whatever, vice versa, right? Like, there's a lot of people that have power that are terrible. And there's a lot of people that are good with power. Does power corrupt? Does it bring people out? I don't know. That's the whole big debate, the big question. So it looks like the people that are running New Babylon push their weight around and take what they want in the name of the law, right? Which could happen, which is kind of laughable. This is a zombie apocalypse. It's lawless. People do whatever they want here and there. Survival of the fittest. People are terrible. They commit crimes and all this other stuff. Now New Babylon's trying to push the order, but whatever. So the lady wants to know about the methane, and Armstrong is going to tell her. So then they're probably going to go to the city, setting up a big thing with that. Maggie talked to Herschel at the end of the episode, setting up a thing that she wants to go back and help Negan, whether to end it, whether to kill Negan or save Negan or help Negan or whatever they're trying to do. But I doubt Negan would be in danger because of Maggie. I think Maggie would help Negan, myself too. Carol asks, Q&A, do you think Negan redoing old Negan now in NYC be boring? Would fans even want more of that? I don't know what the fans would want because Negan does have fans. Negan is carrying, Ginny, right? Exactly. Ginny, the lady from World Beyond, Jadis. There was just so many people if you look at it too, right? So, but I don't know. Like, I want to see it because I like Jeffrey Dean Morgan's acting and I think it's captivating and I think it's great. And it could be a different twist on it. Like, I don't think Negan is going to fall back into his ways, but he's kind of being pulled some way. And I think it's different. Like, I'm glad the Herschel thing was settled. We can move on from that. But I don't know. Like, that's a good question, Carol. So say Negan wants to take over NYC and be Negan 2.0 and be the saviors and have the sanctuary of the Manhattan, the island of Manhattan, or New York City or whatever, is Saviors 2.0, the Sanctuary 2.0. Do people want to see that? Would fans get bored of that? I don't know. But if there's a new twist on it and a new take, I think so. And I think it would really help with CRM, with other stuff. I don't know if we're ever going to see CRM again. We probably won't see them to the effect that I want to see them. And I think it's just a slap in the face what they did with that, in season 7 and season 8 with Jadis and this and season 9 taking Rick away. It was like filler to bring in CRM to take Rick away and connect Jadis and have a whole other show and to do this. And it was filler to bring Georgie in to take Maggie away. Like, it's just filler too. So let me see some of the talk here. It says New Babylon, the name says it all. Tim says, never understood in the ZA, folks can't wait to build back law and government. Dragon says, I would live in the Met Art Museum. So if you guys saw Dead City, when the Croat takes Negan to go talk to the Dama, the guys that are, the people, the guys and girls, they're sitting in chairs, recliner chairs inside the theater and on stage with like a pillow and a sleeping bag or whatever. And I'm like, why would you sleep there? I would go to a hotel. If you have the city, I'm going to one of the nicest hotels there, and I'm going to sleep in a nice, comfortable bed on the 2nd or 3rd floor, or even 4th floor, and I would be there. Like, what? That's terrible. So Meat Carrot, thank you for the super chat, wrote, you think Negan and Maggie smush? I don't think so. I don't want to see that personally myself. I don't want to see Maggie and Negan get together, but I don't know if they would ever write that because that it would kind of be a slap in the face to Glenn fans, even Abraham fans, and I guess even a Maggie fan, that Maggie would fall in love, or not even love, just lust or desire with Negan, a moment of weakness, drinking, and that would be, I don't know, like I wouldn't want to see that. And I'm glad they didn't really, expand upon that in this season. But I think Maggie's got to go back and save the day and help out and find out what's up with Armstrong and the marshals and all that stuff too. And so no, I don't personally think they will. Wilson Q&A. Now that Maggie has Herschel back, what is her part in season 2 likely to be? Well, at the end of season 1, episode 6, she tells Herschel that she needs to end it with Negan. Like, she needs to have this closure with it. So I don't think that, I don't know. Like, I don't know what that means. Like, I don't think, is Maggie the one to kill Negan? Is that also, because a lot of people think Herschel's going to kill Negan, but Herschel's a wuss. Like, he had his chance to kill him early on, like midway in between season 11, and that didn't happen. Would Maggie have the right to kill Negan now? I mean, Negan, yes, killed Glenn, and that's terrible, and that's wrong, and that would stick with you. Like, I don't know why people say, like, oh, Maggie's got to get over it. She's got to get over it. That's something you never get over, right? Like, it's just something you would never get over. I mean, come on. So, Maggie, does she go kill Negan? Is it justifiable? I don't know. It's debatable. Because Negan saved Herschel, was traded for Herschel, saved Maggie, stepped up for Maggie, worked together, got stuff done. But, because when Negan and Maggie go into that place and Negan figures it out that Maggie is trying to do something and trying to hurt him, and then they fight and they do this and stuff too, and then Maggie's kicked. Negan is they love to wound people in the chest, mainly the left pectoral muscle. Morgan got shot there, Negan got stabbed there, people get wounded there all the time in the Walking Dead universe. And Negan had like no ill effects from it. But Negan gets the upper hand, and he could have killed Maggie easily. And he says, it didn't have to be this way. We could have done it. We could have worked together, and we could have done it. It didn't have to be this way. And then he drops his knife like an idiot, and then she takes it and takes him back, and then the rest of the story is unfolds there too. But I don't know. Like, I just feel like now if Maggie killed Negan, that time has passed. Like, Negan has done too many good things. He killed Alpha, saved the group, stepped up time and time again, saved Judith, saved Herschel, did this. Like, he's done too many good things for you to kill him off now. Or am I wrong, Yeah, and Nick says that's something fear writers would do. Yeah, they would write like two villains or two adversaries get together. It's very much a soap opera thing. So we got to talk. So we talked about the Daryl show. We talked about Fear the Walking Dead a little bit and Troy and all that stuff. We talked about Dead City. Let's talk about anything else you want to talk about. Let me know in the comments. But let's talk about The Ones Who Live, the Rick and Michonne show. So hopefully you guys saw the teaser. It's on YouTube all over the place. Walking Dead has it. A bunch of people have it. We have a breakdown of it. And there's not much to gather from it. And it's like 32 seconds. But it's awesome. Because it answers stuff. We get to see Rick and Michonne in the CRM jacket and Michonne with her armor. And she doesn't really do much. She's a walking in thing. And it's not much there. But the one thing that's got me thinking about is Rick with his axe. So he has an axe, and he's like he's doing his little crazy Rick, killer coat Rick Grimes, axe, don't mess with me thing. And he's hitting something. And I don't know if he's hitting a walker, a seer. We don't see what Rick's actually hitting. And we see Rick hitting something with the axe, but it's from Rick's angle. We don't see what he's actually hitting. So some people are thinking that he's chopping his hand off. So I personally think it's 50-50 always. But I think there's a bigger chance that Rick loses his hand than he doesn't. And I think that he's handcuffed and he can't get away from it. And the person, like the CRM soldier or something, that he could be handcuffed to, or even a walker or whatever it is, or the CRM soldier turned into a walker, and he can't get off. He could chop off the walker's hand, But what if like something happened there and he has to chop off his hand? That's the only thing I could think of. Now, they could do it and not chop his hand off. It's not necessary for him to lose his hand. And there's this person in the comments where, you got to get over it. He's not going to lose his hand. Too much time has passed. He lost his hand by the governor in the comic. Well, the show is the show, and the comic is the comic, and the spinoff is the spinoff. So it's totally different. So I could see that happening, just where he has to chop his hand off. I don't know, but that's if they're going to do it, I could see that be the reason. Carol Q&A, you think Negan really killed Jenny's dad, or he was trying to get rid of her? That's a good question. My wife asked the same question when we were watching it. She's like, did he really kill Jenny's dad? Or was it a lie to make her go back away so she would hate him and want nothing to do with him? There's no way to tell because Negan didn't say if it was true or not. But I could see it being true, and I could also see it being not, too. There's just no way to gather. But, yeah, my wife thought the same exact thing, too. Dave Williamson, Q&A, maybe I missed something, but what exactly was their plan to get Herschel back to begin with? It seemed like Negan knew he was coming back and was going to be traded for Herschel. They're right. They didn't really have an exact plan, but I think Negan was trying to talk with the Croat was his plan. I think he was going to try to get favor with the Croat and just have the Croat turn over Herschel to him. Because Negan doesn't know about the Dama. Maggie doesn't know about the Dama, or maybe she does, but she knows about the Croat. The Croat gave, the flyer thing, the wanted poster to Maggie. So I don't know. I think it was just that. I mean, you're right. There wasn't an exact plan or exact play, but I'm assuming that's kind of what it was, is that Negan was going to talk to the Croat and try to just get the kid back. Little Joey, so do you think Morgan and Darlie or Daryl will reunite with Rick and Hal? I don't know if they will. I hope so. Morgan said that he's going to come to Alexandria. He's going to look for Rick. He's going to try to find him. That kind of sets up that he needs to find Rick, right? Daryl says he's looking for something, looking for someone, let people know that he tried and he didn't stop looking and he's still looking. I hope they do. Daryl would make sense that Laurent has to come to the United States. The CRM angle fits because of the immunity stuff, that the CRM shows up, captures Daryl, maybe even Carol, maybe even Rick. I would love it so the easiest way to connect Daryl to Rick is CRM. And CRM, scientists, Carol should know about the CRM because Carol has Lance's position with the Commonwealth. I find it very unlikely that the CRM and the Commonwealth don't have a trade agreement and are not working together. Carol would be the next person to continue that trade agreement. She could show up with the CRM in season 2, take Daryl back. They go to Philadelphia. Rick, Michonne were there. I don't know how it would do. Maybe that's how they know about it. Carol, Daryl find out about Rick and Michonne being hunted by the CRM. They save. Boom. Daryl's the hero, saving Carol. That Carol and Daryl save Rick and Michonne. Reunited. Rick is wounded. He says goodbye. Meets Judith and RJ. They say goodbye. I keep saying Daryl. Rick dies. That's how I would write it. But I'm not a writer for the show. Maybe you can hire me because of the writer's strike. I don't know. But no, I'm just kidding. I don't know. Red Dead Caden says, you're the GOAT, PT. Thank you. No, I'm not the GOAT. I'm just, I just have a good fun. I have good fun with everything. But I appreciate the kind words. I'm definitely not the greatest. I'm not the greatest really of anything. I have fun with it. And I, try to put the best foot forward and try to work on there. But, I try to keep working hard and keep grinding, Lil Chi 721, hey PT, did you see Maggie's face when Negan told Jenny that he killed her dad? Yeah, I mean it's kind of a bomb dropped, it's kind of a thing where you're like, oh, so Negan killed that, it's just the kind of a thing. So I think it was kind of a big thing, a big moment. That was a big eye-opening moment for Maggie, I guess. There's been a lot of eye-opening moments with Maggie and Negan, and I think that was the start of it too. Lil Joey says, that sounds great, but I wonder how Morgan would find out about the CRM. I feel like it would be random unless... Well, Morgan already knows about the CRM. Althea and the helicopter, he knows about the soldiers, and he knows about that too. So it's not out of the blue. But he's traveling from Georgia back to Virginia or Ohio or Philadelphia or wherever he's going. So he could come across on his own too. It wouldn't be hard. Rob K says, I saw Oppenheimer last night. It was a blast. I don't really have any desire to see Oppenheimer or Barbie myself, but I know some people have. I still have yet to see The Flash, which I'm hoping is good. And I don't know. There's just not really any movie. There's a movie called The Creator, I think, and it's with what's his name? Denzel Washington's son. And it looks pretty good. It's like science fiction. I think it comes out like September-ish or something, I want to say. And I'm looking forward to that one. But I don't even know what's going to be the big Barbenheimer. That's what some people are saying. So is that like a thing, Rob? Like I saw it. There's like this weather guy here in Tampa that talked about it on social media. So do you get to watch like both movies? Do you get to see Barbie and Oppenheimer? Like, is that a two thing? Do you pay for that and you get to see it? Like, how is that? I don't know. Constipated Sin City Q&A. Did you like 2001: A Space Odyssey? It was okay. It was all right. Nick says, you would think Gabriel or Negan would have mentioned something about Jadis in the helicopter. We're still waiting on that. There's two people missing, Rick and Jadis. At the same time, none of the group members connected the two. Exactly. I mean, it's just a plot hole that just makes sense. Vivian P says, Rick can't die. It's his story overall. Well, he can die. Just at the end of all The Walking Dead. Like, he can die. Like, I mean, just wrap it up that way. Like, I'm really hoping we're getting a second season of Rick and Michonne, because they can do it and it can be amazing. It can be this, but it'll feel rushed in my opinion, because there's a lot of stuff to pack in 6 episodes. And I don't know if they can do it to the greatest thing for 6 episodes of one show, you know? Like, you could have multiple seasons of that. Does Andy not want to do it? Does Denai not want to do it? I'm sure Gimple does. He wants to do it. But does Andy and Denai not want to do more than one season of 6 episodes? I mean, I know there's a lot of talk of Andy Lincoln said somewhere, somehow, in some video that no one has seen and no one is going around. I can't find it anywhere, that Andy Lincoln has said it's 1 season of 6 episodes. Well, where is that? Where did that see it? Where do we see that at? I didn't see it. There's a lot of people saying a lot of stuff. Like, the Walking Dead universe is a game of telephone or high school gossip. I heard that this happened, that she said, that she said, that she said, that they did, that she said, that he said, that he will, that his former roommate said this. I don't know, right? Wilson says, Denai is mainly MCU now. Well, yes and no. I mean, she can do her Okoye stuff. And I hope she does, because I love to see her in that too. And I'm a big Denai Guerrero fan, and I hope she can do both. Film in Georgia. A lot of MCU stuff films in Georgia. Film a season in Georgia of The Walking Dead too. So Carol says, my 27-year-old son did both yesterday, and he loved them. So Oppenheimer, Barbie. Is that like a thing though? Like, do you get to pay for like a reduced rate to see both movies? Like, is that a thing? Or do you just pay for, or do you buy one movie and sneak into the other? And I'm not saying to do that. I'm not recommending that. But, you know, some people may have done that back in the day, you know, when you used to pay for a movie, then jump in, check out a little bit, and then I would leave. But, you know, I wouldn't really stay for the whole thing. But, you know, I did that a lot with Fast and Furious. Like, Fast and Furious came out in like 2000, 2001, or around there too, early 2000s. And we saw the movie, loved it. So there too, would go see another movie, and then popped into Fast and Furious and watched, 15 minutes or so, and then left. But, man, that stinks. They should have done that. They should have done a thing, like a group thing where, because movies are what? $10, $12, $15. I don't know what happened. So if you're paying for it, it's like, I want to pay for Barbie and Oppenheimer, 2 tickets to both. Can you give me a discount? You know, can you give me a little bit of that? I think more people would watch it, you know? That stinks though, but you know, movie theaters gotta help out a little bit, you know? But we'll see. I'll probably watch both of those movies on streaming services on there too. So, yeah, what else are we watching? So I know Dark Winds comes out next Sunday on AMC, and then AMC Plus will probably be the Thursday show. I recommend Dark Winds. It's a good show. I want to say George R.R. Martin is connected with that show too as a writer or whatever, but it's really good. The first season was, at least, and there's some Walking Dead people in that too. Then we got Hard Knocks starts in August. With the Jets. And there's some other stuff on Netflix coming out. So my wife and I watched Bird. What was it? What's the one on Netflix? Like, I'm saying like Birdcage, but it's like Barcelona one. I'm blanking on the word, but it's like it just wasn't good. We watched the first 20 minutes of it, and I was like, this is terrible. The first movie with Sandra Bullock and whatever, and I was like, Bird Box. Thank you, Tim. I was like, Bird. You had that one. It's on the tip of your tongue, and you're like, blah, 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 blah. But Bird Box, right? And so I was like, this is terrible. Like, we watched the first 20 minutes of it, and okay, you're watching with this guy and this girl, and they're roller skating, and they do this, and then something happens, and they do this, and then after a while, you're like, what am I watching? Like, this is terrible. And so it just feels like we want to continue with this story, but not connect in the first thing at all. And I knew Sandra Bullock wasn't in it, but you're like, ugh, man, I wasn't really doing that too. So, I liked the first movie, Bird Box, but the second one was just not good. Yeah, it's just something I didn't really like it. Like, I don't want to give too much away with it, but it's like you're following like the bad guy kind of thing. And I was like, yeah, I'm over that. So I gave up on it, and I was like, I'll watch something else. Nick says, Last of Us beats The Walking Dead universe, but it will never beat The Walking Dead show itself. Can't we? Yeah, I mean, Last of Us was a great show. I mean, it's its own world. Like, there's zombie stuff and whatever, infected and whatever. But it's just different. Like, the first season, like, so if you compare the first season of Walking Dead versus the first season of Last of Us, I think they're good. I mean, Last of Us is more episodes and whatever, and there's more of a following to it and whatever, blah, blah, blah. But the Walking Dead is really good. Constipated Sin City, have you been watching Invasion? So are you talking about the Disney show, Secret Invasion? Because I have watched that. It's gotten better. I hope there's at least one more episode, because I've watched episode 5, and the way it ends, I'm like, I don't know how many episodes there are, if it's 6 episodes or what, but I'm like, Secret Invasion is, and I like Nick Fury. Nick Fury's my guy, but I'm like, the show just seems like off, and what they're doing with the Skrulls, and I don't like when they made a Skrull, an Avenger is basically a Skrull, and I'm like, what? When did this happen? They better explain this. You know? I'm like, come on. So I'm hoping that it gets better with that too, and the MCU really hasn't been the same since Endgame, which is tough because Endgame is the end game. It's what it's supposed to be. It's like having a story, and then you wrap it up, and you're like, we'll continue with a little bit. Let's continue with the story. You're like, no, the story's over. This is it. That's not like you don't need to make any more movies. That's why most people do the story, and then they do the prequels or a tangent of things. Like it's kind of a things for sure. Lindsay says Foundation on Apple is a fantastic. That's what I've heard. Lindsay, I have to find it. Foundation. But I heard that's a good show to watch. Silo is on Apple as well. I'm sure you watch it already, Lindsay. But Silo is the one to watch. Carol, I'm telling you, bro, if you like the actor that plays the Dama, you'll love her in Ozark, and she's not even the main character. Yeah, I mean, she's okay as the Dama. Like I said, I watched one episode of Ozark, and I like Man, I'm blanking on the guy's name. But I was interested in Ozark, and maybe we have to watch it. Maybe we'll fill in the gaps. I have to watch like Succession and a couple other shows like that. But I heard Ozark is really good. And then we'll have to see, just have to fit it in with everything. Next thing you know, it'll be like, because right now we're wrapping up. We're finishing Modern Family. We're on season 10 of that. And then we're watching Everybody Loves Raymond on Peacock. And then, which I'm kind of excited for, is so next week, I believe, starts Twisted Metal with Anthony Mackie. And I grew up playing that video game on PlayStation. So Jason Bateman, yeah, he's the guy. I like Jason Bateman. And that's another show that was filmed in Georgia, I believe, as well. But Twisted Metal comes out. Heels comes out. I don't see my wrestling guy. Heels comes out. That's on Stars. That's a wrestling show that's actually filmed in Georgia as well. And then once we get into August, there'll be a bunch of shows coming out. There's a good show on Netflix. It's like a documentary series. It's called Untold. And they have an episode about the 2005 or whatever team it was, the Tim Tebow Florida Gators team. And that team has probably some crazy stories because of Tim Tebow. Urban Meyer is a coach. Hernandez was the tight end. Cam Newton was the backup for Tim Tebow, but then got kicked out of school or something like that too. And I'm going to say Percy Harvin's on there. Like the team was loaded with talent and everything there too. And I'm super excited to see. And there's one about Johnny Manziel. There's one about stuff coming out. It's just awesome too. Yeah, Reacher. Diana, I saw something about Reacher. Season 2. I don't know when Reacher's coming back. I know that on Amazon there is a show that's The Boys called Gen V, like Generation V. And it's like a spinoff of The Boys. But it starts in September, which I'm excited to see about it because I love The Boys. I think The Boys is a great superhero show. Wilson Reacher is December. I think so too. I think I saw December as well. So that'd be good because, so we have the Daryl show September 10th, which is less than 2 months away. It'll be here before you know it. September 10th, and then 6 episodes, and then October 22nd is Fear the Walking Dead, 6 episodes. So then that'll take us into November. And then in December, if we got football, obviously, of course. And then Reacher. There's like so many shows. Like it's so crazy to think about different stuff to watch. Like there's just so many crazy things that are coming out. Dave Wilson says, embarrassing, guilty for Cobra Kai. There's nothing embarrassing. First of all, there's nothing embarrassing watching TV like that, There's nothing embarrassing, especially Cobra Kai. Cobra Kai is kind of cheesy and it's but it connects with the Karate Kid and it's amazing. There's nothing wrong with it. If you grew up watching the Karate Kid, watching Cobra Kai is, fitting there too. So I don't know what's going to happen with that in the final season with the writer's strike and everything. Constipated Sin City asked, have I ever been to Arizona? I have not been to Arizona. I've been to Las Vegas. I've been to Oregon. I've been to Texas. I've been up and down the East Coast, but I've never been to Arizona. I wouldn't want to go now, especially because it's like 4,000 degrees there. But I would like to see Arizona. I would like to go to California. I got to go back to Texas. I want to go to Chicago. I want to go to, there's a lot of places I want to go. I want to go to Seattle. That's where Bruce Lee's grave's at. And I want to go to a lot of the market where they throw the fish. I want to see a lot of things like that too. Yes. Lindsay says, never be embarrassed by your guilty pleasures. I watch Vanderpump Rules. Yeah. So yeah. Ahsoka, that's in August, right? Wilson, that's great. So yeah. Yeah. I mean, I watch Below Deck And I watch, a couple shows on E as well, but I can't do Vanderpump Rules. That's just not for me too. So Rob K says Dawn of DC Night Terrors looks like a DC version of What If? ? I don't know what that is. I'm guessing that's going to be on Max, so I'll have to check that out for sure. Ahsoka looks good. Yeah, no, I haven't watched Lower Decks. That's the Star Trek. I watch Below Decks. Below Deck is the one about the yachts and the sailing stuff. I don't like the sailing yacht. I like the with Captain Lee and Captain Sandy and the chefs and the crazy stuff like that. That's the one I kind of like. The Below Deck where they go in the Mediterranean or the Caribbean or whatever on there too is great. So, all right, guys, that's my hour. Man, it flew by. So I'm excited for you guys to check out tonight's episode if you haven't seen it. Hopefully, we're going to get just some more stuff with the trailer for the Rick and Michonne show. Like, I don't know if they're going to wait for that until, like, Daryl's stuff or not because, it's the 23rd of July. So Dark Winds is going to be the AMC show, which I don't know if you guys want me to talk about that in some videos. Maybe I'll talk a little bit about that in some video stuff. So if we got, let's see. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks away for the Daryl show. So 7 weeks. That's a long time. That's not... There's going to be a lot of stuff to talk about that too. So Dark Winds will probably be 6 episodes, so that'll fill the void right in there too for a lot of people. And I know there's a Taylor Sheridan show with Gamora. I know that's coming out on Paramount Plus. I don't know when, but it's called Lioness, I think. So that's another thing on there as well. But thank you guys for taking the time here. Dave Wilson says, Q&A, did you ever give the show In the Dark a chance? I don't know what that is, Dave. Let me know. What is that? Is that where is In the Dark? Where can I find that too? Lindsay says the sailing one gets better in season 3. Chris says I'm looking forward to Ahsoka season 1, August 23rd. That's a couple weeks. It's a month away. 2 episodes premiere August 23rd. Enjoy tonight's episode. Dark Winds, definitely check out Dark Winds. It's kind of cool too. Is Lioness already out? Is that show there? So yeah, Dave, let me know in the comments if you can about where to find In the Dark. Excuse me, and Tim, let me know if Lioness is already out because I definitely want to check that out. I'm a big Taylor Sheridan fan, so I want to check that out. Thank you guys for taking the time here. And remember, guys, with hard work, dedication, belief, and sacrifice, you can truly achieve your goals. Believe in yourself. Keep working hard. It's not going to be easy, but you'll get stuff done. I'll be back next Sunday for our live stream. Tim says 2 episodes are already out of Lioness, I'm guessing. There you go. And Chris is excited for tonight's episode. So I'll be back next Sunday, guys. See you guys. Have a good time. See you.